everyone, welcome back to my channel, whatcassread. Today I'm bringing you an August book haul. I know I said I was trying not to haul some books this year because I really want to get to working through my bookshelves, but yeah, I did some hauling and it's not a very big haul, but I still did it. It still happened, so let's get to it. The first three books that I would like to talk about are the first three books of the Spellslinger series. So this is Spellslinger, the second book is Shadow Black, and the third book is Charmcaster. So these three books are, like I said, the first three books of the Spellslinger series, written by Sebastian de Castell. It is Sebastian de Castell's young adult series. He is actually releasing the sixth and final book of this series in December. So I got into a really big Sebastian de Castell kick last month, where I've actually already finished Spellslinger. And I actually have already finished Shadow Black. I just finished up Shadow Black last week as of filming this for the NEWT's Newt's Readathon. What jump-started my whole Sebastian de Castell kick was I was listening to some audiobooks, and one of them I just was not interested in, and I ended up DNFing that audiobook. So I wanted to listen to an audiobook that I knew I was gonna love, and I really enjoyed Joe Jameson, who narrates these books, as well as Sebastian de Castell's other series, which is the Greatcoat series. Spellslinger follows a young man named Kellen. He is 15 going on 16. He is from this magical tribe of people called the Jantep, and each of the people within the tribe train to become powerful mages. You must prove your mage worthy and your ability to use magic by your 16th birthday. If you don't do this, then you are ostracized to the lower class within the society. It's a really embarrassing thing for that to happen to you. So Kellen is from an extremely powerful mage family, and the problem for Kellen is that his magic is failing him. There's a young woman named Ferris Parfax who comes to town, shakes things up for him, and Kellen goes on some adventures. I already have a full spoiler-free review of Spellslinger on my channel, and then like I said, I just finished Shadow Black for the NEWTs. So I plan on getting to Charmcaster and the rest of the books soon, but you know me, when I love a series, I go all in, and that's how I have these three books. This next book that I have, this is Neverwhere, written by Neil Gaiman. This is the illustrated version, and I purchased this book also in the month of August because I needed a quick change. I needed to switch things up for my NEWT's Readathon. The first book that I was reading for that was not going well at all. I was failing miserably at that, so I needed to quick change it up, and that's how I ended up hauling Neverwhere. I really wanted the illustrated version just because I thought it was cool. I liked it. So this is a story about a man named Richard Mayhew. He's out to dinner with his fiance. He's about to go out to dinner with his fiance, and he stumbles upon a young girl in distress. There's something odd about this young girl, and by him helping out this young girl and taking her in, he ends up getting involved in this greater scheme of above London and London below, where he encounters magic and all sorts of things. This is my third book by Neil Gaiman that I've read this year, and he really loves to take the idea of writing fairy tales but for adults, and that's definitely what this story is. Really enjoyed the illustrations. Let me show you. Here's the prologue. They're all pencil illustrations. They're not colored illustrations, but they just look so cool, and they just add something, just add a little something to what you're already reading. They're all at the beginning of each chapter, but sometimes they're in the middle of the page, and they're just really good. They're really cool. So this is Neverwhere, written by Neil Gaiman. Okay, the next book series, this is a series that I haven't gotten to yet, so we are now in some books that I actually haven't read yet. But this is His Dark Materials Trilogy, written by Philip Pullman. This is the 20th anniversary editions, and I ordered these off of Book Depository. So the first one is Northern Lights, the UK title. The US title is called The Golden Compass. The Subtle Knife, The Amber Spyglass. So I talked about this book series as being a series that I would like to start, and I had never read them as a child because my parents actually didn't let me, because this came out in the late 90s, and my parents thought that this was anti-church and full of demons and they didn't want me to read it. But the reason why I picked this up and was like, you need to read this book series ASAP is because I saw the preview for the His Dark Materials HBO series that's coming out. It's got a stellar cast. It looks awesome. And I was like, I need to read those books before I watch that TV show because I have a feeling that's going to be my next like HBO show. I should really learn the date of when that HBO series comes out so that I can at least get started on the first book. But let me know, have you read these? What do you think of them? Have you seen the preview for the HBO series? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and then the final 2 books in this haul are 2 books that I ordered off of Amazon, and these are an omnibus, a bind-up of 3 different stories in one. So this is The Legend of Drizzt 25th Anniversary Bind-Up Edition. This is actually the Dark Elf Trilogy, with book 1 being Homeland, Exile, and Sojourn. You can't really see that in the title, written by R.A. Salvatore. So I actually already did own Exile and Sojourn, which were the first 2 books of the Dark Elf Trilogy. And this was like a grimdark trilogy that a lot of people, when I started getting more into some of these grimdark books, were saying that you should really check out the Dark Elf Trilogy. It's a really great trilogy. I didn't know that they had a bind-up edition of these 3 books, and they're such small mass market paperbacks that I would actually prefer to have it in the bind-up omnibus edition. So that's why I ended up picking up this one. So then I ended up picking up this, which is considered book 2 of The Legend of Drizzt bind-up editions, which includes The Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, and The Halfling's Gem. And this is also known as the Icewind Dale Trilogy. When I was looking up online of like which order you're supposed to read The Legend of Drizzt, everybody was saying that you're actually supposed to start with the Icewind Dale Trilogy because of publication order. Like, this is the trilogy that was published before the Dark Elf Trilogy. Even though the Dark Elf Trilogy, in sequential timeline order, this is the prequel to this, but publication order, I'm a stickler for, so I was like, well, now you have to get the Icewind Dale Trilogy, so you need to read this before you can read this. I also have heard that once you get past, like, the 3rd trilogy, it kind of peters out. So, like, I don't know if I'm, like, committed to keep going and buying more and more of the bind-ups, but I feel like I have the 2 good ones in my hands. And as soon as I told my sister that I got this one, she was like, oh, I love Drizzt. Yeah, I used to read those books in junior high. I was like, what? How come you never told me before? Ugh. We're just like miscommunicating on all kinds of books, because she also loves Neverwhere. I didn't realize that was a favorite book of hers either. So I'm just like really behind on her favorites, and I need to, like, I don't know, raid her Goodreads shelf? I'm not sure. But anyways, these are the 2 R.A. Salvatore books that I purchased. So now I'm going to sell back the other 2 mass market paperbacks to the used bookstore so that I can just have the 2 bind-ups on my shelf. All right, so there you have it. A small but significant August book haul. Some pretty good finds in here, some series that I've already started and really enjoyed, and some series that I'm pretty excited for. So let me know what you thought of these book series in the comment section below, and you can find me on any of my social media if you want to get in contact with me there. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at whatcassread, same as this channel, so it's super easy to find. Of course, my Goodreads link, I always leave that for you down below, and you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.